We've mentioned it in the past, but now I want to look at baths. This is going to be an element that we see in the Greek and Roman world, personal hygiene being very important to them, and it plays a political role as well. Now, baths are part of everyday life in the Roman Empire. It doesn't matter if you're quite wealthy or quite poor, there would be public baths. There isn't really any form of bathing facility in pretty much anyone's home. Short of being an emperor, you just don't have private baths other than maybe a pitcher of water that you rinse yourself with on occasion at home. And this is built by Caracalla. Now, Caracalla is a general. He comes to power because his army basically rises up and says, hey, you're going to be emperor now, and marches on Rome. This is going to be something that we see quite a bit following his reign. And what he's doing is he's using imperial funds to build a set of baths, really intricate, lavish baths, in probably one of the poorest neighborhoods in Rome at the time. This is being done because those are the people who are likely to rise up against you if you happen to be an emperor. Those are the people who are likely to be unemployed because of slavery. Those are the people who are likely to cause problems. So why not build something for them so that they look favorably upon you? And what he does is he builds an enormous set of baths. And here, let me walk you through the very basic elements of it. You'll notice it's a symmetrical structure. There would be a side for men and a side for women. In the Greek world, we think they may have mixed genders, but we're not entirely sure. And you would have 3 baths. So you would have an unheated bath, a tepidarium, unheated bath. You would have the frigidarium, the tepidarium, and the collidarium. So the cold water bath, very popular today, the warm water bath, and the hot water bath. And what you would do is you would start out in maybe the swimming pool, and then you would move to the hot water bath. The tepidarium, the warm water bath, is where you would actually kind of clean a little bit. But then you would go to the hot water bath. The idea being that your pores would open and you could kind of cleanse yourself a little bit more. This would be the equivalent of the hot tub. And then you would jump over to the cold water bath to close those pores so that germs and other things, they didn't entirely believe in germs, but illness couldn't get in. You'll notice, by the way, that it goes beyond bathing. We see fountains, gardens, a library, a gym on either side. So this is a very important structure. You would spend a great deal of time there. If you're working class, you probably work maybe half or 3/4 of the day, and the rest of it you would spend here or resting. The Romans really want to work as little as possible, and it's just their culture, the way that they do things. This would have been lavish, this massive concrete structure with a facade covered, that brick-faced concrete, covered over with marble, mosaics, and sculptures. Just a phenomenally lavish area, especially for a very poor neighborhood where this is built. We would see stucco and marble. We would see mosaics on the walls and the floor. Here's a recreation of some of the mosaics of, for example, famous athletes, famous Roman people. We know they're athletes generally because if they're nude, they're likely going to be athletes. They're performing athletics in the nude, playing off of the Greeks. We also would see the mosaics on the floor and incredible sculptures throughout. So really a remarkable structure and a remarkable bit of politics. By the way, the windows above aren't windows. Those would just be grates to try and break up the rain as it comes in. But this all is effectively open air. So if it was a very cold day, it's going to be cold in there. The bathing area, however, oftentimes had basically central heating. They would build fires underneath. In sort of a basement level, you would have slaves running those fires, stoking those fires, and that would heat the water, but also the floors, giving radiant heat, way before we come up with it in the 20th century. Unfortunately, Caracalla will be assassinated in 217, which is basically what happens to every Roman emperor, and we move on from there.